Do you have a message for those planning to protest in the precinct around the shrine today?
Well, the shrine is a sacred place, and not only is it wrong to protest, it's not safe, it's unlawful, and it is frankly shameful that anyone would seek to protest any issue at such a special place, a place that is regarded with such reverence because of what it symbolises. It symbolises, with more than a little irony, the fact that many people died to give people the right to protest. The least you can do, if you're determined to protest, don't go there. But I'd argue you should stay at home, because Victoria Police have got enough to get on with. You shouldn't be protesting at all. That just doesn't make any sense.
Are protests still illegal under the Cho directions?
Yeah, absolutely they are.
And
you should stay at home. Like, protests don't work against this virus, and they potentially put at risk all the good work that we've done.
Have you been briefed on how these potential protesters will be dealt with should they arrive on the shrine grounds, which I understand are sacred in themselves and obviously under certain legislation, but you've obviously got the other legislation regarding the Cho directions as well?
I haven't been briefed on the specifics of that. I just think common decency would see people only go to the shrine when they wanted to remember and to appropriately commemorate the sacrifice of hundreds of thousands of others. That's what the shrine's about. It's not about making political points one way or the other. Protests are not safe. Protests are selfish. Protests are potentially very dangerous to the strategy we have in place. We want to get the place open, and we want to make announcements on Sunday. And if people are out protesting, that does not help.
But groups of 10 from two households are allowed to gather.
Yes,
people are socially distant.
Yep.
And surely
but that's very different, Lundy. Though, if you're going to have a picnic, that's very different to someone who's got placards and protests. That's a very different thing. That's a very different thing. But one thing that puts some of those settings at risk is if people are out there gathering to make political points. Now's not the time for that. There will be a time for that, and it's a really important part of our democratic system. Not at the shrine, I might add, but in a broader sense, people can have their views. But it's an unusual year, and we'd like it to end. And the best way to do that is if we all do the right thing.